we starting herbaceously? Herbaceously? Welcome back to the Dudeman Duos.
Dudeman Duo podcast.
Dudeman
Welcome
Duo
back.
podcast.
Woo! We talking about Dudeman stuff is normal.
Dudeman Duos.
We talking about dreaming. We're talking about games.
Games and dreams.
Today we talking about. I actually do want to start out with something you don't know. You haven't been playing this game, so you don't really know. So I'll keep it nice and short and brief.
What game?
Last Epoch. So, yeah, you don't have to chime in. I do think you'd like it. We've had conversations about it. But so the studio just sold the right. No, I'll get up. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh, are we doing Dudeman Duos or are we doing Kurtman solos here?
Well, for technically when you first started Arc Raiders, it was solos, wasn't it? When you had that, I'm just gonna talk about it because the studio.
I can get out of it. Do you want me to?
No, you don't have to get out of here. We'll keep it brief.
We'll keep it brief. All right, talk about your last Epoch.
Well, it's mainly about what's going on with the game and
what's going on with the game.
There's some doom and gloom thinking.
What's going on with the game, Dad?
So the studio sold the game to a different studio or a different developer because they were having money problems, essentially. And look at your face. It's hard to focus when you're like that. But essentially, there's a lot of people kind of like really depressed about where the game might be going because of this move. And I was just wanted to bring up a couple things to get some of the doom and gloom out. The reason that they were losing money was not because of the game, because a lot of people love it. People point out to the last Epoch being one of the second best ARPG below Path of Exile. And the problem was their monetization. They had skins is the only way to get money, and their skins weren't necessarily the most exciting to bring in revenue. You know, they probably could have done better on skins the way the graphics are and don't make maybe the skins pop as much as the other games. But the systems in this game are just so good that, the game itself is amazing to play. It doesn't have its longevity, like the 200 to 400 hours in a season, but it has a good 50 to 60 hours in a season to play. But essentially the studio got purchased by another one for $97 million, which is a lot of money for apparently this game. But people are actually pretty surprised at how it was evaluated that much. But essentially what this means is it doesn't necessarily mean the game is going down. It just means that they might need to change some systems to make some more revenue. And hopefully this makes the games better in the long run. But apparently they are going to be adding some monetization stuff that we'll have to see how that goes.
So I'll put the coasters down.
People are doom and glooming because a bigger studio is buying it, and people are worried that the game's going down because the game has so much potential. It's still early stages, but it's some of the systems
still early days.
Still early days.
Early days.
But the game has some of my favorite systems in any ARPG ever. I want PoE 2 to add 3 or 4 of the systems from Last Epoch because they're so good. But there's things about Last Epoch that don't make it as good as Path of Exile, graphics. Graphics are huge. Path of Exile just looks amazing, and Last Epoch doesn't look quite as good. It's good enough for me to play, but it's not
Last Epoch kind of feels just for me, visuals.
Yeah.
Just kind of as it's an RPG. It's your run-of-the-mill RPG. It doesn't feel special.
It's nothing
visually.
It's nothing special. It's not like the Diablo.
But you're saying the systems
are
what makes it special.
They're just the perfect balance. Whoever, the guy who made it started a single guy and he created the studio from himself. But I mean, the best systems in it is one, the crafting system is super good. It's intuitive. Everyone, you can get into it and you can learn it and you want to use it instantly, but it's not super complex where you need tons of materials like Path of Exile, where it's not going to use my divines because that's the currency. It's none of that. It's everything is super, what's the word? Not convenient, but quality of life. When you grab a material, all the crafting materials goes into a small, you have this infinite crafting material pocket essentially that goes into there. It just feels like whoever created this game knew all the little annoyances in ARPGs, and they fixed it and they tweaked all that stuff. It just needs visual changes, I think, because my favorite way of playing the game is I went in with this season, I created this character, and from no research, I don't even know this Forge craft guy. I've never played him before. I was like, let's go. This guy looks cool. I did it. I was like, I read a couple of abilities, like, oh, I'm gonna go down. Let me go down this tree. This looks cool. And I was like, oh, I can do this cool summon weapons with this ability. And then I got this new ability. And if I go down this tree on this one, I can make that work real well with this. You're able to create your own builds without having to do spreadsheets and having to look up guides, and it works. And it's just, the fun part is making your own build. And that's what I enjoy about it. You go in there and everything is super customizable. Every ability has its own skill tree, and all these skill trees seem to match really well with the class, with 7 to 10 options on each class. And like, I don't know, it fits really well, and the gameplay is fun. It just needs graphical changes.
Do you think that it fits really well and it works and you can make any build because it's too easy?
I mean, probably in the early game it's easy, I would say, which might be why it's feels a little bit good. But I think that's good for campaigning. But like I said, I like PoE more because it has more grit to it. I want PoE to adapt some of these. I don't want it to copy it.
Because I'm just wondering if PoE adapted some of the things in last Epoch. I wonder if it would not work because PoE is just a harder game.
No, because PoE has problems where some abilities just don't do anything. There's some abilities in PoE I was like, ooh, this looks cool. I want to make a build with this. Just can't. And it's early, but maybe they'll fix it. PoE is a great studio. PoE 1's amazing. I just think it needs more time to get there. But like, I like the difficulty of PoE, but I like the ability to play what I want. I don't necessarily need to one-shot everything, but I want my abilities or my build that I think I want to play works. Maybe it's not killing pinnacle bosses. Maybe I can adjust later. But in PoE, I get to like Act 2, Act 3 with my build, and it just doesn't work anymore. And it's like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. And maybe it's because it's not intuitive enough versus like this game, it has the scaling tags, which is super nice. This ability, fire, area, whatever, it shows that it scales up. Having the skill tree on the abilities feels cool because you're getting you have this thing that you're searching for on the skill tree that actually feels really cool. And it's like a unique ability towards it. Like I'm trying to do an example. There's this one auto attack. It's called multi-strike. It's just your classic builder. And there's this one ability, Forge Strike, that comes down and summons minions or summons these swords. And if you get max stacks with this strike, it does a automatic summon of Forge Strike. So therefore, it feels really cool to get to that point and have these defining traits in this skill tree. And versus like PoE, and this isn't a critique of PoE, it makes it a little bit less personal, I guess, with PoE, because there's like 6 builds possible for certain stuff. So it just means more versatility in last Epoch. They did versatility very well. My character feels like my character. It doesn't feel like something I had to copy paste off of a website. And that can change with PoE.
I've thought about playing last Epoch, but the problem is like I am a pretty casual ARPG player. And so when I want to play an ARPG, I'm just like, I'm gonna play PoE.
No, yeah, makes sense.
So
I like PoE more still.
I understand what you mean, because there are systems in PoE that definitely need help, in my opinion. Yeah. And they definitely need to tweak stuff so that there's more build variety. And also the end game has gotten to the point where it feels kind of stale for me. Mm-hmm. Where I'm like, I'm not motivated to do anything right now in PoE. Where like it was fun leveling, the campaign's great, and I got to the end game when I'm mapping, and then I'm like, okay, now what?
No, I agree with the PoE with that, and I think that's just probably because it's early. There's not enough season of fixes to keep adding. Every season it's going to get more and more interesting, more things to do in the end game. Apparently, this new patch, which we can actually segue into, that is the what is it, the Age of the Druids or something is what it's called. It's the
I wonder if they're gonna introduce the Druid because it's called the Age of the Druids.
It's 100% the Druid. The Druid is supposed to come out.
See that logic?
It's sound logic. Dude.
Sound freaking logic.
You love coasters. We should take these away from you. But yeah, so it's the Age of the Druid 0.4. So we got a Druid coming, but apparently it's not all about the Druid. The Druid was like 95% ready last patch, but they just weren't ready on the animations and they weren't going to delay the release. Sure. So essentially we're getting the Druid in this one, but we're getting a lot more than just the Druid. Apparently it's going to be hard focused on endgame,
so we're going to get Druid and then we're going to get Druid babies.
Druid babies?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
No, we're gonna
baby
get
druids.
They're probably gonna redo a lot of the end game because they said they're hard focusing on it. So I was just thinking like speculative, like what do we think that they should be changing on some of these end game systems? Because like I imagine they're gonna have they're gonna have a season of fix like this one. Last one was Abyssal League, which I liked Abyssal League. It wasn't like tons of play thing, but the crafting system added a layer that was cool. While leveling, it felt cool to have some rifts, some more monsters to kill, and going into doing some of the bosses were pretty cool, but nothing crazy. With this season, I don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah. I think the economy this season ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Because because the last season that I played, there were some chase items that you could get that would be like, I'm gonna make a lot of dough.
And it didn't.
And then this season, you can just buy things off the auction house for super cheap now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what changed. It just feels like there's less like chase items. And so for me, that's less motivation to play because I like to have some chase items that if I were to get it, it would be a lot of currency.
A lot of currency. I was listening to some Rax and he was talking about like them just bringing in more like pinnacle boss like loot and stuff like that might be one of the things that they'll be doing because like I said, they said they're hard focusing on the end game, which would mean more bosses, more epic loot to get, which would increase. I also think it kind of diluted it a little bit because they added the trading system in game. A lot of people probably didn't even deal with the trading system off the website. They didn't even, obviously you got the hardcore players, but some people just probably didn't even deal with it because it was annoying to deal with. So now you got an overabundance of that kind of. So now it's diluted and crafting, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing because I enjoyed crafting and I was able to craft myself some good pieces, which I wasn't able to really do in the first season very much. I did a couple times, but I was able to build my character with crafting this season. I just didn't make as much money on the auction house. In the first season, I made more money, but wasn't able to build anything for myself. So it's like, what's better? It's probably better to make your own gear, I would say, but it definitely felt like I couldn't sell things.
It felt like anytime I got a piece of loot from like a pinnacle boss, I'd be like, and then I'd look at the worth and it's like 2 exiles. I'm like,
it was diluted. I want more.
I want there to be good loot that drops so you can just like sell and get a lot of currency.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely need more loot, like more epic, like legendary stuff. I just
felt deflated. I'm like,
I agree.
So I'm just gonna be grinding for currencies.
I mean, it's definitely a grindy game by ARPG, but I mean,
but I want some chase items.
Yeah, they need more.
You know what I mean? Like last time, remember we were grinding the chaos runs and the Sekimas because there were some chase items there, but this time around, the chase items weren't worth enough for me to like be motivated to do that grind again.
I think a little bit of that is the inflation was a little bit more. So even though they weren't worth as much, the value is still there. It was just versus like 100 exalts now it's like, or 100 divines now it's like 20 divines. But those 20 divines could get you what those 100 divines could get you in the past.
I still don't like. I don't like that they introduced different tiers of currency.
I don't like it either. Well, okay. So here's the thing. For crafting, it's cool because you can craft better items with them. So, because what they did...
Yeah, I just think that there's better ways to do that because there's already a lot of currencies. And so now there's tiers of a lot of the different currencies. And so it just adds...
I feel
like it adds more bloat.
It adds bloat. It didn't bother me as much because of the stash tab. It just puts it in the stash tab. So like you get the third tier, which is really good. It's worth a lot of currency because it's more rare.
Yeah.
It adds more chase loot, but I get what you're saying. It does add bloat, and it's not the best way to add chase loot.
And there's already so many things that drop.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind there being less things drop, but that the things that do drop are more impactful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think what would help the system, we'll just take from last Epoch, if they have a system where when you click the currency, it automatically puts it into that stash tab, like a currency stash tab. It doesn't go into your inventory. You shouldn't, because I like that a lot. Because when there's so much currency on the ground, I don't pick it all up because it's like I don't have the space for it. It's like a pointless. I won't use it very much. But if you like in last Epoch, you click the crafting currency. It grabs all the crafting currency and puts it into your stash tab, your infinite stacking stash tab. I think that's great. What would be the problem with having that? You know, you don't have to feel like it's filling up your inventory. Now I got so much, like 3 different exalts and 3 different like transmutes. That wouldn't matter if it's all automatically getting transported into this currency pocket, because then you're just collecting it and it doesn't matter if there's a lot, because when you go to look at what they do, they're organized and it doesn't matter. I think what makes the bloat is when they drop on the ground. But if, you know, it wouldn't affect it as much if they all went into somewhere. I think that would kind of help, because I do like having the 3 tiers for crafting, because if you get a really good piece and you're like trying to craft it and you want to use that 3rd exalt, it makes the tiers like, you know, because you have like 1 through 12, the 2nd tier, maybe 1 through 8 or 6, and the 3rd tier, like 1 through 4. So you just have a higher chance of getting that really good roll versus you have a really good item, use 1 exalt, and it's like a tier 12. And you're like, bleh. This alleviates that to make your crafting better. I like that. Maybe there's a way that they could do it better. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I think it's just the bloat that makes it annoying, like you said. So I think that pocket could fix the bloat issue, because then you don't worry about picking it up really, because it automatically picks it up.
Yeah.
And that's an annoying part of the game, is picking up all these random currencies.
Right.
But they definitely need more legendaries. They definitely need more chase items.
They need, better legendaries. I don't even know if they need more, because then again, it goes into the blue. I think you just need to make the legendaries maybe more rare, and then be more impactful, so that when you do get a legendary drop, because like it's such a bummer when we're running these pinnacle boss runs, and it's just they're dropping these trash legendaries, and it's like every time
it's the same.
And it's like not special.
Yeah, and then because people are spamming these, there's like there's the market. Even if they were used in a build, there's like 1 billion of them, because we've got the boots from that king guy so many times. It's just, maybe they shouldn't have set legendaries for like bosses, and they should just maybe have like a higher like, you know how there's super rare legendaries, and then there's the leveling ones and whatever, which are fine, because I like having some level. There's some legendaries like the 100 spirit one, you know, feels good when you're leveling, but like when those drop from pinnacle stuff, like it's like, huh? You know, it just feels like, why is this hard boss that cost me a lot of currency to run dropping something that's worth less than an exalt?
Right.
You know, and I don't know how they fix that, because it would be hard, because a lot of people are spamming those, right? So you're going to get a lot of those drop, but maybe they just have the chance to drop something really good instead, like something defining.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say.
It's hard to say, but it just doesn't feel as rewarding.
It doesn't.
It's still a fun game, but I feel like this last season, PoE 2 was more just like a level up a couple characters, then once you're in the game, mess around a little bit, and then you're done for me. Like, whereas previously, there was a lot more chase for me for things.
It might be a little bit because it was the first. So therefore, those chase items, we went for them the first season, and we didn't want to care about them the second season.
Yeah.
I do think the second time we played, which was the 0.3, was overall better game-wise, because it felt better. The classes felt better. More versatility and options. Yep. You didn't affect that as much. Oh, sorry.
Sure. I was just going to say, and the campaign was more fleshed out.
The 4th act was fantastic.
It was awesome.
So, and apparently in this one, they're going to add that 3rd version of the trials. Apparently people are thinking, they killed the monkey guy on this 4th That's an ascendancy trial.
Oh, cool.
Which apparently it's going to be like a wave based one, which I'm like, please do. Because like the other trials are kind of chaos trials and then the Sekimas.
They're cool in their own right.
To do once
or a couple times, but like, we need more options now.
We need more options. I never want to do them, but I know they drop stuff and I need to get my ascendancies. And I'm like, oh, I don't like doing any of these. So it's like, but they are cool. Like, I mean, the design of them isn't bad, but if they just need more options.
Yeah.
Some classes thrive doing Sekimas, and then if you're a melee class, you're not going to do Sekimas.
I like Sekimas because it's kind of like that fun roguelike kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. But yeah, I've just played it enough to where it's like, all right, I'm done. Let's do something new.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit, or just add new stuff, which is I think what they're gonna do. One system. What was this? Well, I had my train of thought. Oh, one system I think is really cool. Once again, this is why I'll bring up the last Epoch to, just for things that I think would make it good. Is in last Epoch they have a solo self-found, but when you play solo self-bound, your loot rarity is increased, so you get rarer loot and more loot, which makes it more desirable to do. Because like I don't want to play solo self-found in PoE because it's so hard to get the stuff that you want to make that build. But if you had a higher ability to get the loot that you want, it would make it more enjoyable. And they have this cool system at endgame for last Epoch where it's a faction system with reputation that you build. One of them is the market system where you can choose to pick the market and you level up the market and it gives you like more discounts or like whatever. And then there's this I can't remember what it's called. It's like a stellar almost like star themed, like like constellation themed, where you can hunt for specific types of loot. So you go into this area and you accept quests of having to kill this certain monster or have to kill a certain amount of monsters or kill these bosses or whatever, and you can fish through with this currency to try to find the quest that you want. This drops legendary swords. Well, I'm hunting for a legendary sword, so I'm going to try to get these quests, and maybe it's going to drop that rare sword that I want. So I have a way of targeting certain things that I'm trying to get to with me playing the game and not just getting currency to buy it, which feels good. Having to play the game for what you want to get, it feels good because it's, you're like hunting for that one piece. In PoE.
The one piece. Hunting for the one piece.
That is the one thing that's missing in PoE for me is like, I never expect to get the piece that I want. I expect to buy the piece that I
buy it, right?
Which I don't like. I love the game.
Yeah.
I love the gameplay. I love the way it feels, which is why we play it. But if they could add like that element to where there's that end game that you level up and you're able to like, ooh, this quest here is like, ooh, I need to kill this boss 3 times to complete this quest, or maybe kill all the pinnacle bosses once to complete this quest. It's going to drop like 2 or 3 legendary swords. Hopefully it's the one I want that adds the playability.
What if you could do a hybrid where it was solo? Like, hear me out, because I like aspects of being able to use the market.
Yeah, I do too.
Like to be able to fill out your resistances. And we've talked earlier about how they need to make that a little bit more easier to do.
More attainable.
Especially potentially through the 3 things that you can get.
The charms.
The charms. There you go. What if they had introduced more of where the market, you couldn't buy, sell, trade uniques.
Okay.
You could only buy, sell, trade just normal items, currencies, but uniques you had to farm for.
That could work. That could make people mad, but it could also work. So it's like, it's one of those things. They would have to have the system, like I said, to make you be able to get more uniques. Because the way the game is now, there's too many uniques, which isn't a bad thing, to be able to get what you want. Like I said, I needed this focus and these gloves for my build that I made with my blood mage. Never looted them once. Played 200 hours plus, never got them. And that doesn't feel good if you can't buy them. However, if they add a system, like I mentioned with the last Epoch, where you can farm specific socketed legendaries, maybe it takes you 20, 30 hours of farming to get it if you're unlucky or something, but you have a way to get a guaranteed socket drop. Like I said, it's going to drop 3 legendary swords. I don't know which ones. The really one I want is more rare, but it's got a chance to be just the swords. You're minimizing what you're getting. That would make a fun end game loop, as long as the quests are engaging. Because you would really like that system in the last Epoch, because it gives you a chase but a guarantee. You know, there's that thing that's not all RNG. You're playing the game getting RNG loot while chasing something. Yeah, that feels good.
I think something like that. I actually really like this idea of having like maybe it's a mode.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to have too many modes in a game. Again, bloat. But if you had a mode, or I don't know, maybe. But the idea of like having a marketplace to fill out like your resistances to get whatever, but then these legendaries, or maybe they introduced some unique legendaries that you couldn't. Maybe normal uniques you could sell and buy on the marketplace, but there were certain ones that you can only get yourself.
Yeah. It's one of those
that would introduce that, like, I want to go chase that item.
Yeah, it's so hard to say if it would be good or bad for the game, because it's, you know, it's like PoEs. I think they have a system that they like, so I don't know how flexible they are on that. I think it's just about adding content. They just need to make ways to target farm a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, because there's nothing right now. Well, except for certain bosses drop certain uniques and you need to farm those bosses, but sometimes it's so expensive to run those bosses. It's like, okay, I spent all my currency trying to get this boss. It didn't drop. Now I'm poor. Now I have to do something I don't want to do to try to do that again. I don't like that system of having to spend lots of time doing something that's not fun to try to do something that's kind of fun to get what I want. And I think PoE at the end game is in that area, even though the rest of the game is amazing. The end game just doesn't have that ability to keep me playing long term. You know, the only reason I was playing last time, we were having fun for a bit, but it's just farming currency, just for currency's sake. Really, I wasn't really chasing too much.
What if they made the pinnacle bosses scaling so that the pinnacle bosses, you scale them up, but each scaling is harder and harder to the point where you can't just spam them over and over and over and over and over and over again, because they're actually difficult.
They need to do that.
And then, but when you scale them up, the rewards and the potential loot is like, because I just think about back in the day playing RuneScape, and like the potential, just like, even if the fight was like super hard, I was just like, I want to kill this thing because I want to get some cool, awesome loot. Oh, yeah. And I want that element in PoE where it's like, you know, because it's like too spammy right now.
It's too spammy, and the spammy wouldn't be bad if the rewards were enough. It's not rewarding enough for spammy.
Yeah,
because you're just rewarded with currency, not loot.
Right, and we're going in and, you know, spamming that boss, and it's just so fast. And it's like, it would be more fun if it was a little bit more challenging, but then a little bit more rewarding with like potential drops, you know?
And to be honest with you, they're probably going to get there, I imagine, because a lot of people are having critiques with their end game, and everyone loves PoE 1 end game, and there's so much to do apparently and so much to get for. So it might be a thing where they just need to have more time to develop and add more things and stuff.
More time for the chefs to cook.
More time for them to cook. Keep adding more layers, because every time a new expand, there's more layers added. Some of them will go away, but some of them stay there, right? So I mean, they'll keep adding new content and new things to do that feels good. One thing, like I said, I'm going to keep going back, because even though Last Epoch has its issues, their systems are their king. That's why they're a good game. The new season is really cool this season, because there's random rifts that will spawn. You go into the rift, you kill monsters, and you get to a boss at the end. You kill the boss, and then you pick what you want the boss's upgrade to be, and it drops certain currency. It says you pick this upgrade, it'll drop a feather for currency to purchase something or to craft, and this one, and then you pick which one, and it gives more abilities to the boss. Every time you go in, it buffs the boss and gives more drops to buy there's a certain amount of legendaries in this season. There's like, it looked like 40 legendaries in this stash tab that cost certain materials from killing this boss. So you get to hunt for what legendary, and you get to see what legendaries, you know? So I don't have to go to a website and be like, what drops? It's like, this is what drops. I look through all of them. That would be cool for my build. Now I got to go farm for this and hopefully now I have a goal. Now I have something I'm playing the game to get to.
Right.
PoE doesn't feel that way yet. It doesn't have like, I'm playing for that.
Yeah.
When I get that, it's going to be great. Now it's like, I need currency to get my gear.
Sure.
That feels good.
Right. When it gets to a point where it's like, and again, I mean, it's still a fun game, but it gets to a point where it's like, I'm playing to get my character to a certain level of power. And then once I get there, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's anything else, any more reasons for me to play. So then I'll level up another, get to a certain power level, and then I'm done, which is fine. But I could see there being a lot more potential for the end game. You know what I mean?
There's so much more potential. And like I said, I am excited about this patch because, like I said, they said they're focusing all on end game. Apparently, like they already did the extra campaign, and they did a lot of those systems. Some people think they might even revamp the mapping system. Like they think the tower system that they did was just a little patch to make it more fun for this season because it was like a quick fix. They might be changing a lot of stuff, and hope maybe the end game system they add for the season effects adds a lot of depth to it and stuff like that. Because I mean, the devs, we know GGG is really good at what they do. People love the game. You know, the Path of Exile 1 is considered to be the best of all time, even though it was too hardcore for us. But people just say the end game is unbelievably good. People still put PoE 1 above PoE 2 right now, but they're like, PoE 2 has the potential to be. Yeah. And it probably will get there because they're the same developers. I imagine
because PoE 2's graphics, the abilities, just like the game design is just top notch. Yeah. You know, just the way it feels. And
the cool part about the game too is nothing will stay the same 100%. They're willing to change the passive tree. They're willing to add tons of stuff and redo these. They're not like, oh well, this is here, it didn't turn out, let's make something else better. It's like, that doesn't work, let's fix that. Let's add more options. Let's do this. So there's a lot. It's exciting to see their patches because they always make it better. They may not do everything that I want them to do yet. It may not be at its final form yet, but I'm like, every season it's exciting to at least see what they're going to make it better. It's still technically early access. There's a reason for that. This is the biggest play test of all time. You know, it's like, it's long. It feels like it's a fully released game, but it technically isn't because, you know, they just want, essentially it's just a game that has so much intel. Like, you just want to get as much information from all the players. And I imagine it'll be like this forever. But if I'm excited for this season, the Druid looks really cool.
Does it?
Yeah, the animation, the bear looks like a real bear. Like, it's moving like a bear. And the transform looks really cool. I don't know about all the abilities, but they showed one combo system where it's a rage generation where you stomp. You know, there's like stomps and roars and stuff, and there's a roar that makes you stomp twice, and you have an ability that does a volcano, and if you stomp on it, it makes it fire more projectiles, and if you make yourself stomp twice, it does twice the projectiles. So there's like combos to like do some of that. I like druids. I always thought druids kind of cool.
Do they only have one form?
No, apparently they have 3 forms.
Okay.
So right now we know bear. They just showed bear form. I think there'll be a couple more. We'll find out. And there might be more they have 3 base forms. They might have a new form with an ascendancy too. Like, apparently there's going to be a lot of options. Yeah. So, and there's going to be the top left tree that's been just dead since it came out. It's like nothing over there. So
I think they really need to, in my opinion, I think ascendancies should have a bigger impact and feel. Like, imagine, you know, you're leveling up your witch, and then you go into the blood like ascendancy, or is that sorcerer that has the blood mage?
No, it's witch.
Is it witch?
It's witch.
And then your character like visibly changes into this like you know what I mean? Instead of just like, okay, now I'm a blood witch, but I don't see anything different. You know, I
got blood glowy eyes.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I think that'd be sick.
Yeah,
if they actually had more like visual impact.
It's hard to say if they're gonna do that, if that'll just be a cosmetic for money, because the game is gonna be free, and you know, so I don't mind if they add cool cosmetics for purchase because I'll buy them. But like,
for sure. But it'd be cool if just like when you ascend, it felt.
Yeah. more impactful. I actually want them to make some of the ascendancy points more impactful, because some of them don't feel that impactful. Some of them do. There are some cool ones in there, but like half of them are like stat. It's like, I don't think there should be any stats in my ascendancy. I think they should all be build defining.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been talking about that, so I imagine that's something they're going to work on. There's a lot of feedback saying some ascendancies don't feel that cool, because there is some that really do. Like the witch has the one where you gain 100% energy shield based on your HP of your chest piece or something. So if you have like 2,000 energy shield off your chest piece, you get 2,000 HP off of it. So it's like there are some impactful ones, but there's also one that just increases your crit chance, your spell crit chance.
Yeah.
And like it's like
yeah.
Doesn't feel that good. So get some more epic build defining abilities or talent points and ascendancies would be sick.
Yep.
More build diversity, which they are going.
And make some kind of a visual indication that your character has ascended, because the whole idea is cool. I have ascended. I've done these trials and I have ascended to a blood mage, but then you don't look any different.
Yeah. Yeah, they could just, it would be kind of hard to do that with all of them, because the blood mage is a good example to have like blood glowy eyes, but there's some other ones that wouldn't really be able to change aesthetically. So it'd be interesting. They could do something,
even if it was like subtle, just some kind of like for instance, like the monk. They did this one well, where you ascend, and then you get the ability through your ascension that you have this the power that you can. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's little glowy balls like spinning around you when your power's ready. It's like a visual indication of your ascendancy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Things like that. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy, but like some kind of cool,
like a passive thing that you get.
Yeah.
It could even just like add some like particle stuff to your ability or your
some
casting.
Aura, particle thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, just something. It doesn't have to be super crazy, but just a little bit. I agree. That'd be cool, because those orbs do look pretty sick. I'm trying to think if there's another ascendancy that has any kind of aesthetic like that. I don't think so. The monk might be the only one.
It's cool how when you ascend as a witch, when you're doing your minion build, and then through your ascension you get that bloodhound.
Oh, I was just thinking about that.
That's kind of a cool visual indication of your ascension.
That you're an infernalist or something like that. Yeah, they should have more class fantasy involved in each ascension.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Something that's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be broken. It just be like, look at that.
Yeah. And maybe like with your hideout, if you get like, I don't know, maybe there's ways to visually change your hideout based on your ascendancy too.
Yeah, they could do something like that. I'm not, they'd have to, I don't even know what to think of there, but
just spitballing.
I agree though. There's some stuff that they can definitely do, and they probably will. So
you could even have like a UI, like you become a blood mage and your UI just turns like more bloody or something.
More bloody, more like particly.
I don't know.
No, there's tons of stuff they could do. It would be cool to have, like I said, more class fantasy involved in it, because when you do ascend, you do like, oh, and then you're just normal again. And it's like,
yeah,
don't look that cool,
right? Because initially, like, you first starting out, and you like oh, guys, I'm gonna try to ascend. And I remember my first time trying to ascend. It took me a while because we weren't good at the game yet. We
didn't know how Sekimas worked.
We didn't know how Sekimas or the trials we weren't good at anything, and so it took me a while to eventually ascend. And then when I ascended, I got a couple talent points to put in, and I'm like,
some are impactful and some are just like kind of meh. Yeah. They could definitely go up. They can do something more with those for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what else that they could add to the end game. There's so much, obviously. I just want more systems in place and more things to farm that I want to farm. More activities that I want to do.
Right.
Because I want to play the game because the game is fun. The combat is fun. The classes feel cool. The visuals are fantastic. And it's just like, but there's not a content that really is driving me to play. Right. And that's the sucky thing. So if they just add some more, it just needs more content, So hopefully that changes. A new class will make it a little bit more enjoyable. I was thinking, like, I don't know if you want to play. It's like we should both play the Druid and see it and make our own build and see what does, like a little challenge.
That'd be kind of fun to do.
I like
just
the
to
Druid.
see what. Just don't look up any guides
No guide.
for any builds. We just see whose build is better by the end of it.
Yeah. And then we can look it up later if we want. But
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be like fun. I don't know
It'd be
if you
fun.
want to play the Druid. I'm gonna play it because it's new.
I would try it out. Yeah.
I mean, like, you don't have to do a shape shifting, really.
Yeah, I'm typically not a Druid. Like when I go into a game and they have a bunch of classes, I'm not usually the guy that goes Druid, but I would definitely try it out.
What is the best part about ARPGs is because it's seasonal based. Like, you can do something different one season. And if you don't like it that much, I mean, you can change it, but you're like, oh, this is fun. I'm happy I did this. I wouldn't play it a lot, but, you know, I got to experience a different play style, and it adds more playability to the game. Unless, besides like playing the same thing, or unless you just absolutely love it, then play what you want. But it does add layers of playability because you're playing something different. It's new. I'm looking at different talents. I'm looking at different pieces of gear versus you play the same thing next season. I know these are good. I'm going to get these again. Maybe there's some extra flair. Mm-hmm. Now it's like brand new game almost when you play something different, kind of. So playing a Druid would be fun. It'd be brand new, be fresh. A lot of people will be doing it, but we don't care. I wonder if we should try solo self-found this season. It's hard to say because, like, I wonder if it would be more fun. You know? Do you ever think about that? Not like hardcore.
No, for sure. I
because
mean, because I think about it and like I like to chase items.
Yeah, me too.
And so that would be that item chase. Maybe the game is designed to be solo self-found. It just has that less hardcore
version
option, and then we're just playing the less hardcore option because it's I don't know.
And we haven't done a lot of research, so maybe a lot of the gear that we want comes from specific spots that we don't know about. So like, because I know some lineage gem or lineage support gems that came out dropped from very specific situations. We didn't really look up a lot of guides.
Because we would just buy it on the auction house.
Yeah,
right?
we'd buy it on the auction house or anything like that. And we knew where, like, some bosses will drop specific stuff, but we only did a certain amount of content, you know?
Right.
So maybe if we did solo self-found and then we wanted to look for items, we could look where those drop and then maybe
we could try it.
Yeah. I think we should try solo self-found this season.
All right.
And then, you know, just change it up. Maybe it makes it more fun, you know? It makes it more of that experience instead of the same old. Because then it's like, now and then crafting is better because you're like, oh, I got this 3rd tier exalted orb. I'm gonna save this for when I get my good piece to use it. You know, like there's more of that involved.
Yeah.
More playability, not just, well, I bought my pieces, I'm done. Now you have more chase. I'm gonna do this because I'm looking for this piece.
I can see that.
So we should do that. I think that'd be fun. And if we don't like it, we don't have to do it again. But we could at least try it out and see if we like that. So
it is cool that the game has these different modes because there are going to be more casual people like us that play. There are going to be more hardcore people that play. And so you can do the different things depending on how much time you have to invest, you know.
It'd be exciting to actually use a divine orb.
I've never used a single divine orb.
Never. I don't even know what it does. I think it re-rolls the values. I don't know if it increases the tier though, or if it just re-rolls their value.
I think it just re-rolls.
Honestly, I guess it could completely brick it too if it did that. So it's like, get low rolls, just do it until you get like that.
Yeah.
Definitely the last click before they're corrupted. But yeah, we should do that. Challenge accepted, dude. No guides. It'd be funny if we both made the same build and we just.
Are you gonna pound it?
I was gonna pound it.
No guides. We're gonna do the Druid. We're gonna do solo self-found. Too bad they don't have a solo bro found.
That'd be sick. Oh yeah, we could
like trade with each other.
We could do that. We just not allowed to use auction house. It's just honor system.
Honor system.
We could do honor system.
Because solo bro found would be pretty sick. Because I found you a piece. You know.
But it's also if we're both playing Druid, it's like it's gonna be your piece too, most likely. Yeah. Well, there's different builds that you're looking for, so maybe not.
I like that solo bro found.
Yeah. Like I said, that's
wait. Would that be solo then? Duo bro found.
That's what
that's the new mode.
The new mode. Duo bro
found, where you and your buddies can trade amongst each other, but you don't use the auction house.
Yeah, it's like a little Iron Man-y thing, but it's a bro. Yeah,
dude, we're coining that.
Challenge you.
We're coining
solo
that.
Bro found.
Solo bro found or duo bro found.
Yeah,
squad bro found.
Oh yes,
depending on how many people are doing it. You know, if you have like 4 people doing it, you could call it squad bro.
Not allowed to use
squad bro.
Not
squad bro found.
Maybe you can use the currency exchange now. No, that cheated up. No currency.
Yeah, no currency exchange.
Oh. I would not run out of gold.
Dude. Ha! He runs out of gold so many times, and I find it so funny because I never run out of gold.
Yeah, but I was going hard into crafting this season.
Yeah.
Currency exchange, dude.
Okay.
So much
We're
gold.
coining it, though. We're calling it, depending on how many people you have involved, it could be solo, duo, squad, but we're doing a duo bro found.
Duo bro found.
And
you find me something, I find you something.
Yep, but no currency exchange, no auction house.
Yep,
but we can trade amongst each other.
See how powerful we get. Hopefully, there's a new system too. I'm really excited to see what the end game that they're bringing. GGG is really good at content usually, so I'm just if it's focused on the end game, I'm really excited to see what it's going to be. So it comes out on the 11th.
Okay,
so it comes out in a week or two.
Right on.
Yeah. So
by then I'll be out of my hardcore Arc Raider.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I've played enough hours to where it's like that fresh game. I'm like obsessed, whatever.
In 2 more weeks, you'll casually.
Oh yeah, I'll just be casual playing it.
Yeah, for sure,
for sure.
And then we'll be on a break for Fellowship to see until new stuff comes out. So, kind of on a good game loop. Arc, Fellow, and PoE. Those
Arc,
are good.
Fellow, PO.
Those are 3 completely
PO.
different gameplay options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
scratching all the itches.
All the itches
All damn itches scratching.
Until that Riot MMO comes out, and then we uninstall every game we've ever played and play that until we rot in the ground.
Yeah.
It's just trash, and we're just like, crap. I'm just by stubbornness, I would just have to play it. Because I can't say I'm wrong. So I'm like, no, it's the greatest
it's the
game,
best
game of
dude.
all time.
It can't be bad.
It can't be bad. No.
Like, I know I'm coping, but I just feel like the Riot MMO cannot be bad.
It cannot be bad.
And I'm a cope fest over here.
Yep. Even
but
when it comes out,
I'm gonna cope until I die.
The thing about it, if you speak it into existence, it'll happen. Because if you keep speaking, it's the best. You're naturally going to be biased now. Even when it comes out and it's not as good and people complain, you're like, no.
So what you got to do is you got to surround yourself. Yeah, you got to surround yourself with an echo chamber of people that only ever say that the Riot MMO is going to be good.
We're gonna do that anyway.
And then when it comes out, surround yourself in an echo chamber of only people that are coping hard for the game, and then you're just gonna have the best time ever, dude.
That's not a bad idea. Not in life, but in your entertainment space. That's not a bad thing.
I mean, to be fair, you're kind of right because it's a video game.
Yeah, if you love it, then
just enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
I don't like the whole video game critic thing. Have you been keeping up with some of the
Oh yeah.
Like IGN and some of these other like video game critics? They should just do away with that whole system and just only look at like reviews by players who've played the game.
Yeah, the whole professional reviewer thing is so dumb, dude. Like movie critics, no one listens to you. Video game critics, only player-based people care about. Because if there's enough players that like it, then there's obviously an audience for it. Versus like, oh, the sound was really good. This stuff looked beautiful. Oh, it sucks to play. It's not a good game. But it got an 8 because everything else is beautiful. It's like, no, you got to have everything.
Yeah.
So
they should it was a good system back in the day. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, maybe not a good system, but it was a system for people that wanted to know ahead of time before buying the game. Am I going to be wasting my money or is this worth spending money on?
Yeah.
But nowadays there's so many content creators out there that have a better track record of actually as unbiased as one possibly can be putting out their unbiased reviews, that there's enough information out there that the whole critic is an outdated system.
Yeah, because like I said, it was good. It was the only option back then. I mean, you couldn't have a TV show; it's too expensive. So it's like just write articles and stuff. Now, because there's so many options, you find someone that likes the same stuff that you do, and then you can just follow them, and then they'll be able to point out games that you would like because you already know that person is in the same realm that you are. Right. Even if someone else doesn't like the game, but that's for someone else. So like there's certain reviewers that I listen to that I'm like, I usually agree with you. Maybe every once in a while I won't, but I'll try anything that they reference because it's like we usually like the same stuff.
Yep.
So it's kind of what we're going to be doing almost pretty much.
I wouldn't mind actually doing some shorter form, just like reviews of games.
We should find should do a good system for it.
Because I like talking about it and critiquing it. And I also never thought I'd be into this because for a while I thought it was kind of dumb. But I am actually into sometimes watching other people play video games.
Streaming, yeah.
To see if it would be a game that I would enjoy.
Yeah. We can start doing some reviews where it shows our gameplay and some funny moments, and then we talk about pros and cons and stuff. We can start doing whatever we want to do.
Yeah,
whatever's fun.
Be fun.
Maybe a little bit more editing on that kind of stuff, but
dude, bro.
Dude man.
Dude man.
It's exciting.
Dudeman duos.
Man. There's so many games
from the Dudemans.
So many games to play.
The Dudemans.
So much fun times.
So many good times.
Dude, there's a lot of good games coming out.
A lot of good games.
It's been a good year.
It's been a good year.
It's going to get better.
It is it's been a bad year in certain respects. Like New World is getting canceled. And some other games, other games that people were hyped out for were getting canceled by Amazon Game Studios, and so that there's been a little bit of negative, but overall, though, for the gaming community, I feel like it's been a net positive this year.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you are. I never played New World.
There's a lot of people that were into it, you know, so can't just because we're not into it, just we can't just negate that, right?
Yeah, well, it's good for games that are failing to close down to show that you have to actually make good games.
Yeah, but that New World wasn't failing.
Well, the player base was. That's why they canceled it.
No, it was actually doing pretty good, and in fact,
they just canceled it for no reason.
Yeah, that's Have you not been keeping track of what's going on with Amazon Studios?
I mean, I knew a little bit, but
the new expansion just released.
Oh,
and their player base was popping, and then almost immediately after the new expansion, which everyone bought, they announced that they're closing it down.
Oh, so it was just like it was a studio decision thing. It wasn't like I assumed it was profit based, like everything.
So it was the studio itself. I think for New World was doing good.
Oh, okay,
but Amazon, the parent, decided to close it down.
Decided to close. Is it like the whole gaming studio or just the game itself?
I don't know all the details.
Okay.
I just know that New World itself is definitely closing, and they also canceled. I think they're just going away from MMORPG genre in general, and then just going probably like to cheap mobile games just for cash grabs.
I mean, in order for something like that to happen, it has to be profit based. If it was profitable, the company would not close down. So, I mean, there's something profit based, and if anything closed down, it's because of money.
So as far as I know, New World was profitable, but what you have to look at from a bigger company like Amazon that's not passionate about video games is the amount of money per dollar spent.
It's not a lot.
They could spend way less money on just stupid like mobile games and make way more money per dollar spent.
Yeah.
So it's like a lack of passion for games.
Yeah.
And more of just like a money, because it was, as far as I'm concerned, it was doing good, fairly good. It was, because New World came out, there was definitely like a
hype,
and then there was a dip and everything. But it's like the expansion came out, there was actually a decent amount of players like coming back to the game, and then it just. Yeah,
I'd be interested to see the numbers because, like, I bet you it was like doing like had the possibility of being good, and the new content came out and it was looking promising. But I mean, I still, from what I remember, at least from the early, it like had a big fall and then a big fall after it came out, and then it came back up, but not enough probably for the studio to want to keep doing it. It probably made it was probably more complicated and stuff to keep it up, and added a lot more, annoyances for Amazon. They're like, it's not worth the money that they're getting from it. So, which might be the natures of MMOs. But I mean, it just depends. It's because MMO is so hard to do, and I feel like New World was like a decent MMO, but still lower. Like I played. I think I downloaded it and played for like 20 minutes because I didn't like the way it felt. But I'm so picky when it comes to MMOs, so it makes sense why it kind of closed down, I think.
I mean, from what I'm hearing from people that were into New World and from what I saw with the numbers, apparently like a lot of people bought the new expansion and were
the numbers
playing
were good.
it, but then they announced that they were closing it down, and then it just.
So that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Amazon's like, no more MMO.
So
I'm not sad about it, but some people are. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry if you played.
It's in the gaming community. You know what I mean? So I'm not personally sad about it because I didn't play the game, but I am sad for the people that were into that
and liked it, yeah,
and liked it and stuff. And it sucks that people bought the expansion
and then canceled.
It's such a weird way. And I don't think it was the individual studio of New World. I think it was the Amazon execs that called them because like coming out with an expansion, having people buy the expansion and then immediately announcing that there's not going to be any future support for the game is like, what?
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's kind of dumb. I mean, yeah, it's not a gaming studio. They just don't have the passion for it, so they don't care. So Amazon's not, don't buy an Amazon game in the future, I guess, because they don't care about it enough. So
I think more and more going into the future, I think gamers are going to be even more so paying more attention to the studios themselves as opposed to just the individual games. Because in the past, I didn't really know one from one studio from the next necessarily. I just viewed it as games, different, games, video games. And then if I liked this game or I didn't like this game or a game came out, whatever. But nowadays, I feel like more and more you're going to be having to pay attention to the studios themselves. Do they have a good reputation for being passionate about the video games that they come out with? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it also helps that there's so much games now that you can do that. Back in the day, it's like, this came out, this looks great. There was games coming out, but there wasn't like the crazy big ones. There was only like certain studios that would come out with big ones every once in a while. Now Steam's out. There's so much competition that you could pick a studio and still have enough games to play.
There's a lot of good indie developers out there coming out with bangers. And there's studios that are new studios popping up, like Embark Studios coming out with Arc Raiders, and they have a good reputation it's kind of a different it's a different game.
Yeah.
Now, you pay attention more to the developers than you do the actual games.
It's a good time to be a gamer. The more options, the better. It's just a good time. But yeah.
Well, Dudeman Duo is out.
Dudeman Duo is out. Are you guys excited for PoE?
Yeah.
Are you guys
excited for the Druid?
Excited for the Druid.
I'm hoping the end game is starts to pop more.
Yep.
So.
Like I said, I just need it to be a little better every time, and eventually it'll get there. So as long as I keep adding good stuff, I think we're good to go. So I'm excited.
It's a great game, and I want to see it go from being a great game to an excellent game.
Like the best game.
Yes.
And they have the capabilities to do it.
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys excited about? Let us know.
Yeah, dude, if you guys have any awesome ideas of what they should do for the end game, let us know and we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, dude, give us challenges, dude, man. I was just thinking about this. I was like, dude, we should have people like give us ideas and go off on or something like that. Because I love like theory crafting stuff. So someone can, if they want us to make a game in a certain thing, we can, that'd be sick. Something like that could be fun. Maybe if we start live streaming, we can start taking stuff. So
yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a good one. We'll catch you in the next video.